Welcome to this episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where it's my mission to change your mindset so that you can live a healthy and happier life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. Hey guys, it's Ollie here, and welcome back to another episode on the Health and Happiness Show. Today we are joined by an incredibly special guest. He is a straight-talking, high-performing leader that helps men who feel disempowered, helpless, and have lost their mojo reclaim it back through his coaching of creating an unstoppable mindset and mentality. He is the current UK Master Coach of the Year, a world-class coach, international speaker, and author of the book Fucking Unstoppable, a book that is the modern man's guide to grabbing life by the balls. All of this man's accomplishments are inspiring, but that isn't why I wanted him on the show today. The connection that attracted me to this man's world was his story. Formerly suicidal and diagnosed with bipolar, one day this man stood on the edge of a cliff, ready to end it all, until his wife asked him one pivotal question. Hearing and learning of his story gave me so much happiness and gratitude that I now have this opportunity today to have him on the show. It therefore gives me great pleasure and excitement to introduce to the show Paul Mort. Paul, how are you, my friend?
Dude, that is by far, and I've had a lot of intros in my time because I do probably about 4 or 5 of these every week, right? That's the best intro I've ever had, mate. So fucking well played.
Shut up.
Honestly, I think there's blood in my penis. What a start, mate. I love it, mate. I'm now even more excited than I was about talking to you today. So thank you for that.
No,
yeah.
Honestly, truthfully, it's my pleasure. I've been a follower of your work for a number of years now. We connected last year at Alex's event, and this is why I wanted you on the show. You're going to appeal to my audience, and you're going to connect to them on a level which taps into their mindset, and that's my whole philosophy. I'm a believer in mindset, and I believe if you can change your mindset, that you can change everything. I have to open this podcast up by asking you, what was that question that your wife asked you that not only changed but saved your life?
Dude, you know what? I can't bear in mind how many times I've obviously said this on the stage, different events all over the world. I still get a little bit emotional. Even now when I say it, it's crazy. She said to me, the first thing she said to me was actually a shit question. She said, bear in mind, by the way, I was ready to end my life, right? I was that low. I was rock bottom. And she said, think about the kids. And if you've ever been that low, you'll know there's no logic exists there. There's no logic exists there. All you can see is darkness and you're just trying to get a way out of this pain that you're in. And she said, think about the kids. And I said, I am. They'd be better off without me. And so many men that I've worked with have said that as well. My kids would be better off without me. And she said something, I actually use it when guys approach me now. She said, are you really think about the kids growing up? Not just growing up, but spending the rest of their lives as those kids whose dad killed himself. Essentially gave up on them. So that was the thing that she said to me that transformed everything. It still resonates with me now. It still, I wouldn't say it plays on my mind, but it's always there. It's always there that my number one job, aside from being happy and impacting people, in fact, it goes beyond, it's even higher above on my values and impacting people, is show my kids how to live. Show my kids how to live. When people talk about leaving legacies with business and that, I'm like, well, that's all great. But you spend fucking no time with your kids, mate. My kids are my ultimate legacy. Yeah.
Dude, like, honestly, I'm actually getting a little bit emotional right now, for real. Because, do you know what I was thinking, right? I was thinking, forget the question for a second. Yeah. What you taught your kids that day was the most valuable lesson of life, and that's to never give up. Yeah. And, you know my health background, and all I remember was never giving up. Not for me. Like, I knew that if I gave up, that would be okay. But I was thinking of my mum. And my mum having to stand at my funeral. Yes. And like, you really hit me then. Like, I've got goosebumps now. Dude, like this.
Think about this, Ollie, right? A lot of us guys me back then, I was trying to end the pain. But I've got to think about the pain that it doesn't end, it just gets passed on.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have the pain than pass it on to somebody else. The same as I'm like, when guys, I get a lot of criticism, a lot of hate, a lot of nasty shit said to me, right? I had 2 death threats last year. Just because the way that I speak, the way that I talk, and the way that I say it, the things that I cover trigger a lot of people. And I'm okay with it because I often think this guy who's called me, whatever he's called me, this guy who's gone on just a massive rant against me, despite not even knowing me, I'd rather he takes that out on me than someone close to him because he's clearly struggling. I'd rather he takes that on me than someone close to him. So the pain doesn't go anywhere, it just gets passed on. I wasn't willing to pass that on to my wife, and I wasn't willing to pass that on to my kids to carry with them the rest of their life.
Let's touch on that, because this is one of my weaknesses, right? I get triggered very, very easily, and like even a
No,
negative
weakness, it's normal. It's normal.
it's normal, but like
Yeah.
it upsets me, and
Yeah.
like and that's just a negative comment in social media,
Yes.
let alone a death threat.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Is it empathy? Is it like how are you?
It's empathy. It's empathy, definitely. There's a couple of things, right? There's a couple of things that you got to touch on with this. This is all a matter of perspective, how you see things. The filter you are wearing, the Instagram filter you have on that day will determine how you deal with it. So there's a couple of things you can do with that. One, notice that when your state, i.e. the way that you feel, is, let's just say we're rating on a scale of 1 to 10. 10, you feel fucking incredible, right? Maybe you wake up a 4 out of 5 most days. I do, right? I'm not a bounce out of bed person. I'm a very excitable person. I've got a lot of energy. Sorry, I create a lot of energy, and I fucking love what I do, right? And but still, I maybe wake up with a 4 out of 5, a bit groggy. If I go on my phone, then I'm going to react in a very different way to when I've got a handle on my state. I've had my cold shower. I've done my breathing. I've done my yoga. I've done my journaling. I've done my planning. I'm going to react in a very different way when I eventually get to an 8 or a 9. So that's number one. Don't check your phone when you're in a shitty state, right? Number 2 is the biggest thing I understood is none of that. People criticizing me is never about me. It's always about them, where they're at. And we always feel attacked. Got to consider that the person isn't attacking us. In fact, give them 10 minutes and not even remember typing in the fucking comment. Not even remember. They'll not even remember typing it. Right? People don't attack people. They defend their beliefs. That's it. So if they see something that they take as your challenge, they take it as criticism, by the way. They take what you are seeing, they think you're criticizing them. So they go on the defensive. So something that you've said that is congruent with your beliefs, something that you've done that is congruent with your beliefs. Like when you start becoming successful, the higher up the ladder you climb, the more your arse hangs out and the more people can see it, right? So you're going to get attacked more, but they're not really attacking you. They're just something that you are doing. Again, when I was young, I remember a lot of my family would say like snidey little comments. When are you going to get a proper job? I still say that now. I still say that now, despite what I've managed to pull off. But I'm like, they're saying that because my growth is triggering them to defend their beliefs about, actually, maybe I shouldn't. They're like, Paul's not settling. I need to say something to make myself feel a bit better because he's triggering me. His growth's triggering me. So people are just defending their beliefs. That's my biggest thing. And that's what they're supposed to do. That's what people are supposed to do. Beliefs are a powerful thing. Beliefs are so powerful that most of your behavior will conform to what you believe. Right? That's what mindset is. A set of beliefs and assumptions that are so powerful that your behavior conforms to them. You got to consider, some people's beliefs are so powerful they'll strap a bomb to themselves and blow themselves up. That's insane. That's how powerful beliefs are. So when people are criticizing me, it's never about me. They're defending themselves. And that's their job. So often I'll just say thank you. When people say, how do you deal with it? I'm like, I don't deal with it. I don't need to. I'll say thank you. Sometimes I'll just delete it, but I'm not going to then take it with me. Sometimes I'll create content on it. I did a video the other week. I actually responded to somebody because I was on my phone at like 10:30 at night, which is unheard of, by the way. Normally my phone's going in at 8 o'clock, so I can wind down, so I can relax, I can spend time on this night. I think my wife had gone to bed earlier than me. And I checked my phone. This guy left a fucking awful comment, and I went after him a little bit. I was like, did that make you feel better? Then I did a video on it. I said there's a couple of, I stayed awake a little bit longer. So I'm like, I'm going to shut this fucking dick up. Normally, I would never react like that. So one, my state wasn't on point. Tired. Fucking grouchy. But then I was able to turn it into content. So that's one way you can deal with it, is by learning from it. And that's when I said, listen, he wasn't attacking me. It wasn't about me. If I take it personally, then again, a lot of the time when we respond to it, we're trying to be right. I'm not going to win. I don't need to prove him wrong for me to be right. And I don't win by trying to be right anyway. I just waste time and energy. That time and energy is better off spent with people that I love, on my own dreams and desires, and on my own shit, than trying to prove some fucker else that I don't even know wrong. Yeah. So I get to be right. I already know I'm right. I don't have to prove him that I don't have to prove to some random guy that I am.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many takeaways from that. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's a internal filtering system that you have, and is
Yes.
understanding that actually
Took
you're
me a long time, Ollie.
you're going to be wasting precious energy. That's all it
Yeah.
is, precious energy that you can't get back, time that you can't get back, spending it on someone who's not even going to align with your
Yeah.
beliefs that it's going to be an instant conflict.
Yeah.
How you're speaking right now is how obviously you've created your unstoppable mindset. Let's dive into that.
Yeah.
What is an unstoppable mindset? So you've touched on beliefs then. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah.
So what can the listeners do to create a fucking unstoppable mindset?
What can the listeners do to create an unstoppable mindset? So first of all, you got to stop believing everything that you think. You got to stop believing everything that you think. Now that's not, you don't get to control your thoughts. People are like, oh, well, only think positively. You got to understand that that's diluted as well, by the way. There's no such thing as a positive without a negative. There's no such thing. I did a video on this morning. You can't have confidence without self-doubt. You can't have certainty without doubt. You can't have courage without fear. You got to understand that you've got to have all of those things, okay? The most powerful mindset is actually not the positive mindset. It's the neutral mindset, the objective mindset, right? Because a lot of people think that when they don't think positively, there's something wrong with them and that they'll beat themselves up for not being positive all the time. You're not fucking supposed to be. So I'd say, what is an unstoppable mindset? It's a neutral mindset. It's a balanced mindset. It's a flexible mindset. It's an objective mindset. It is a present mindset, not future-based, not past, but able to be present. So that's what an unstoppable mindset is. How do we start doing that? I suppose just understanding that, first of all. That you're not your thoughts. You're not everything you think. You don't have to believe. You don't have to be positive all the time. And then there's a bunch of things that go with that. But the first rule is you got to understand that. You got to understand that flexible, neutral, balanced, objective.
Yeah, do you know what? That's
not either or. People that think, oh, just think positive, just stay positive. What does that even fucking mean?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, you know what people are saying during this thing, just stay positive. What does that mean? What does that mean? Actually, it's good to have a little bit of fear. It's good to have a little bit of doubt. Otherwise, I'd be in the old people's home kissing all the old people. I would be. If I didn't have any self-doubt, any fear, that's what I would be doing. I wouldn't bother washing my hands. I'd go around licking old people if I didn't have any. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's that whole objective thing, that whole fear thing is good.
Yeah, like honestly, I haven't heard that spin on mindset before, but like think of homeostasis. That is balance, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I've never even considered that. So I think that's really interesting.
A lot of the most positive people I know are also the most deluded people I know. They convince themselves that everything's okay, even when it's not.
I mean,
you can't positive think your way to success.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to handle negative. And a lot of people say this to me, Paul, how do I get rid of those negative thoughts and that the neg head that shows up? He's there for a reason. He's there to keep you balanced. It's there to keep you objective. It's there to help you make better decisions. So someone said to me this morning, how do I get rid of nerves before public speaking? Said the nerves are there to make sure you don't fuck up. The nerves mean you give a shit.
Yes.
The nerves are there to help you do a better job, mate. The nerves are there to give the energy you need to produce a great performance. So you got to not try and get rid of all this negative shit. You got to keep it and move in spite of it. It's there to serve a purpose. Keep you humble. So everyone's like, oh, I don't want to worry about what people think. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I care what people think. I just don't let it stop me from doing what I want to do.
Yeah, man. Like, adding to that, I think, it's like you go back to what really resonated with me there was with the nerves of public speaking. Public speaking is one of my ambitions, and it's a venture that I'm going to go into. It's out of my comfort zone, but I know that's where I need to be.
After that intro you did for me, you'll crush it.
But like, it's one of those where the nervousness is energy, and that energy needs to it needs to fuel you. And it's the same with fear. Like, fear is holding people back in life.
Yeah.
Well, embrace that.
The thing they have to do things. The thing they have to get rid of the fear before they do it. You got to do it with fear. If boxers weren't scared, they'd go into the ring without their hands up and wouldn't bother with a gum shield, and they'd get knocked the fuck out if they weren't nervous. There'd be something wrong if you're not nervous into a fight. Same when you're going on the stage, because the reality is you could fuck it up. If you didn't have the nerves, you wouldn't have prepared. You wouldn't have had any slides. And you wouldn't give a fuck. You just go on the stage and do whatever. Obviously, your nerves get less and less as you do more because it comes from practice. But if they're not there, you wouldn't have any energy either. Yeah. It's a powerful way to look at it because you can't do things. You can't just get rid of an emotion. You can change it. You can adapt to it. You can create the opposite. But you can't just lose an emotion forever. It's there for a reason. And the way you frame it, it's going to be everything. You think about this, mate. When you're nervous and when you're excited, you've got the same physical feeling. You need a piss. You've got butterflies in your tummy. You're a bit giddy. It's the same feeling. You know what I mean? It's the same feeling. The same feeling I get on Christmas morning at 40 years old is the same feeling that I get right before I'm about to have a fight. Yeah, true story.
You touched on previously some of the maybe the rituals that you have in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What would an unstoppable day look like? So we've touched into mindset. Powerful, mate. Powerful.
Yeah.
What about an unstoppable day? How do you create your day to set yourself up for success, for health, and for happiness?
So an unstoppable day really is going to be different for everybody, right? But an unstoppable day needs to have some level of plan. Because for me, unstoppable, the ultimate goal for me as a man is to have freedom in every area of my life, right? Whatever that freedom looks like for you, okay? And freedom comes from discipline. You don't get any freedom without discipline. And you also can't have discipline without a plan. There's nothing to be disciplined to if there's no plan. You know what I mean? So we need to have a plan. The plan needs to be based on our priorities, and everyone's priorities are different. That's the first part. We also need to have an objective for the day, which again means we need to be clear on our priorities. But an unstoppable day starts with getting ourselves into an 8 out of 10 minimum. And again, what gets somebody from 8 to 10 will be different from person to person. I don't have a cookie cutter approach. So I'll be like, first thing I do is journal. Ask myself questions that put my attention on my intentions, on what I want, on how I want to feel, on how I want to show up today, on who I want to impact, on who I've got to follow up with inside of my business, on who I need to show some appreciation to today, on what might stress me out today. I'm putting my attention on that because my intention is to handle all of that shit. That's the first thing I do. Second thing I do is usually some form of exercise. Now, me personally, I don't like having a real hard training session in the morning because what I do requires a lot of energy. So I'll have my harder training session in the afternoon or at nighttime when jiu-jitsu or boxing are back on, for example. Those are my nighttime things. So today I'll work out with my wife at about 4:30. I can't train hard in the morning because I've got to produce all day. So I'll tend to do more yin-based exercises, I think it's called, in the morning. So I'll go with 15-minute yoga flow, breathing mechanic exercises that I'm working on right now, which are amazing. Then I'll have a cold shower, and then I'll get my needle 24/7 and walk to the office. Or maybe I'll have an infrared sauna or something, just depends. And then I'll usually drink one of them before I do any work. So before I even turn my phone on, which I mentioned before, all of those things are handled to get me into an 8 out of 10. And then I will put my attention on other people. Think about that for a second. Most people wake up, turn the phone on, check their messages. Their attention goes straight on other people's business. And then wonder why they're triggered, stressed, anxious, pissed off, frustrated. I don't do that until I put myself in an 8 out of 10. I put my world-class unstoppable filter on. That's all I'm doing. Yeah.
What time do you get up?
The latest, about 7. I'm not a 4 a.m. riser. I don't need to.
what will be happening right now in the listener's head is they'll be going, do you know what, Paul, that's great, but I've got to get the kids to school. Not right now. I've got to get the kids to school. I've got to get to work, 8 a.m. And they're saying the excuses are coming in because we're the excuses that we tell ourselves, right? Yeah. So how they're saying, right, that sounds great, but I don't have time for this.
You've got an option. You've got an option. Here's the reality. We will always create time for things that are truly important to us. Always. Notice we always get time to create a holiday, don't we? We always get the time to create for that. We'll always create time for the things that are truly important. So we need to either make it more important or create more time. Get up earlier, maybe go to bed later. I don't know. If it's important, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find a fucking excuse. And our habits and what we do will always show what we're most committed to. Always. Regardless of our words, regardless of what we say we're going to do, our actions will always speak louder. Commitment is demonstrated by your actions. So for me, I'm just clear on what my priorities are. I do all this and I don't work past 4 p.m. I don't work past 4 p.m. I don't work Wednesdays and I don't work weekends. Most of the time. 80, 90% of the time. Obviously, there are different things. If I get a speaking gig on a Wednesday and there's going to be 1,000 people there, I'm going to take it. Right? Period. If I get asked to go and speak in Dubai like I did on Monday, I'm going to fucking take it. I don't care what day it is. But you have to pay for my family's flights, by the way. But yeah, if not, you'll find a way. But you got to consider that doesn't take me long. It takes me 15 minutes to journal. It takes me 15 minutes to do yoga. We're not asking people to take over the world here. We're just asking them to do something different. But yeah, you'll find a way or you'll find an excuse.
You know, it links right back round to what you said at the start of what creates an unstoppable day, priorities, right?
Yes.
What's your kids and family aside?
Yeah.
What's your number one priority? What's the purpose?
My number one priority is me. There's nothing more important than how I feel.
Because of where you've come from? And
because of where I come from and because I can only serve other people to the level at which I serve myself. I can't be a brilliant dad at a 2 out of 10. I'll be shit. I'll be grouchy. I'll be an arsehole. I'll be a hypocrite. You got to consider most men are fucking hypocrites, mate. Eat healthy. Dad, you've got tits, mate. You should exercise, son. Dad, again, you've got tits, mate. Don't talk to your mum like that. Where do you think I learned it from, Dad? Don't storm around the house like that. Dad, where do you think I learned that from? Should go to bed. You need to get to bed. Dad, but you stay up till fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. We've got to fucking lead by example. So for me, I'm committed to leading by example, showing my kids how to live. Not preaching, not teaching, not putting myself on a pedestal, showing them. Kids will copy what you do as a man. I've completely lost what the question. Oh, my priority. Priority is how I feel. Get myself an 8 out of 10. I do a better job as a leader in my business with my staff. I do a better job as a coach. I do a better job as a presenter and a speaker. I do a better job as a dad and a better husband when I commit to putting myself in an unstoppable state, which is an 8 out of 10 minimum. If I don't do that, I'm leaving everything to chance. I'm leaving how I feel to chance. Yeah, number one priority is always me. And it's selfish. But isn't it selfish not making the effort to put my mind in a good space, my body in a good space, so that I can be a great dad, a great husband, a great businessman, great leader? It's selfish not to do that.
Mate, completely agree. You can't serve from an empty vessel. Put
Exactly.
yourself first. Like it's like, you know, time is finite, and it's the quality of your time will be determined by how you spend it and what you spend it on, and like what else matters other than your own. Like I know this because I've been there with my own health. Like trust me, when your health goes tits up, nothing else matters, right? And
sooner or later, your health will become your number one priority. Sooner or later, self-care will become your number one priority. Most people leave it until they have no option.
Health is the crown that only the ill person can see.
My man.
Like it's true. Like it's only when you're in a state of ill health can you actually see and appreciate all of the good health that you had. And
yeah, that's what I was like that's why when people say to me, Paul, do you ever think you'll end up back on the cliff? I said, yes. If I stop doing the things that got me off the cliff and start doing the things that took me there. It's like a fat person gets in shape, stops training, starts eating what they ate before, they're going to get fat again. It's the same here.
I opened up the first question, taking you back to the cliff in relation to what your wife asked you. Yeah. Let's take us back to the cliff metaphorically, and let's say I
actually live, by the way, directly opposite that cliff. I was there last night. See, yeah, I live directly opposite it.
So you're quite literally, figuratively.
Yeah, I moved there in 2015. I had my meltdown 2014. I moved there 2015.
As a reminder?
No, just because it had a sea view and it's right on the beach. But now it is a permanent reminder. I can see it out my bedroom window, my front room. Yeah.
So I'm taking a man, a woman, someone to the edge of the cliff who's in that dark and difficult place, right? But they don't have their wife there this time. They don't have anyone there this time. what would you say to that person?
I'm not going to give the old bullshit of talk to somebody. A, most people don't know what to say. B, not everyone's ready to hear it. C, what if talking isn't the answer? Action's the only fucking answer. So you got to understand that you're not alone. It's not different for you. That was my biggest story. No one will even care. No one will even be bothered if I fucked off. No one will even be bothered if I wasn't here. No one even knows. That's the reality. No one even knows what you're going through. So if no one knows, how do you expect anyone to get it? How do you expect anyone to care? That's the reality. No one gives a fuck was my whole thing. And then I realized that actually no one knew. So yeah, talking's an option. But you got to understand, and this is harsh. I don't know what just happened, but that was amazing. Now, you got to focus on, when you're in that state, you get obsessed with how you don't want to feel. So your focus and your attention is only on bad shit. You got to start focusing on how you want to feel. So there's 4 questions that I have you ask yourself. Is 1, how do you really feel? How do you really feel? Because we'll start using analogies. Oh, I'm in the pit. Or the black dogs came to visit. Who the fuck invented that language, by the way, the black dog? He doesn't come to visit. You fucking invited him. It's not my depression. The language that people use fucks them. I'm in the pit. I'm on the edge of the cliff. I feel like the weight of the world's on my shoulders. I feel like I'm drowning. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, no, you're not any of those things. You're experiencing an emotion. What emotion are you experiencing? 2, what does that mean? What does that mean? 3, it's the big point. How do you want to feel? Not how do you not want to feel. How do you want to feel? Because I can create a strategy around how you want to feel. You can't create a strategy about how you don't want to feel. You can create a strategy around how you want to feel. And once you start to get clear on how you want to feel, you can then start taking action to do something different. You're always in control of how you want to feel, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. We can change how we want to feel in an instant. In an instant. Whether only if we're willing to, though. Remember, we've got the life we're willing to put up with. So yeah, what would I say to them? It would depend on the person, but you got to understand that you got to get clear on how you want to feel. First thing I ask people come to me with this big long story. I'll be like, listen, I get it. How do you want to feel? Can't answer the question. People can't answer the question. They just start going off on a story. I didn't ask for your life story. I didn't ask for all these excuses. I didn't ask for it's your wife's fault, it's your mum's fault. I didn't ask for any of that. How do you want to feel? If we can focus on that, we can start to make changes.
How you want to feel creates
Get
hope.
what you're focused on. If you always focus on what you don't want, what's not working, how you don't want to feel, you'll just get more of it. If I look at dog shit, what else can I think about? Dog shit. I'm not going to start thinking about what I'm having for my lunch while I'm looking at dog shit, unless I'm having a dog shit sandwich or a Mr. Whippy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So this isn't my last question, but this question did just come into my head, and I feel like I should ask it.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
No, I believe in the law of action.
Oh.
The law of attraction does not exist without the word action. Do I believe in positive thinking and affirmations? I suppose I do, but none of that matters if you sit on your fucking arse. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing is not a strategy. Praying is not a fucking strategy. They'll temporarily make you feel better, but it will not get you a result. Action is the only answer.
Before I ask my last question, Paul, where can the listeners find more about Paul Mort?
The best place is our website called paulmort.uk. You can opt into my free world famous daily emails. You can grab my book. You can grab my podcast. Actually, I haven't even got a podcast. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But I've been on hundreds. If you just look on Spotify or iTunes, you'll find me on, usually telling the same stories, actually. Dude, you've asked great questions. So yours is one of the best podcasts I've done, mate. You've asked great questions.
Well, my final question then, my final question. What is the one thing that we can do that will have the biggest impact on both our health and happiness?
Take responsibility.
Paul, you're a gentleman. Thank you for your time. Guys, stay healthy, be happy, take care.
My man!